Hey y'all, I'm going to make a meal-in-one casserole. And you can use any kind of meat that you want to, would work just fine in this. I'm going to do pork chops. And so it needs to be cooked fully beforehand because it's not going to stay in the oven long enough to cook it. So the first thing we're going to do is get our pork chops in the oven, and I'm gonna let these cook on 350 for I'm thinking maybe an hour and a half, maybe 2 hours. I want it to be just fall apart tender. And so I think that these really just need to be salt and pepper on one side is plenty. And all the seasoning I'm going to use on that is salt and pepper. And then I'm going to take some Sweet Baby Ray's. And I'm going to be generous when I put it on the pork chops. And then I'll just spread it around. So when probably a couple of hours have passed, I'll come back and show you what I'm going to do next, but I'm going to cover these and just stick them on in the oven on 350, and they don't need to be turned or anything. So I'll see you back. Okay, we're ready to put our one dish meal together, and so I'm going to take you down where you can see. And here's the casserole dish I'm going to use. It's smaller than a 9 by 10, and I don't see a size on it, but anyway, the size that you use will depend on how big you make yours. And this stacks up pretty high, so I would try to get a pan that is a little bit high. So the first thing we're going to do is I sprayed that with a lot of like Pam, it wasn't Pam, but the spray, non-stick spray. Woo, boy, that really popped. Okay, then what I'm going to do is I'm going to put a layer of biscuits down, but in those biscuits, or on those biscuits, I'm going to put some butter. And this is to help them to not burn and to just be extra yummy. So I feel like I'm all hands today, or all thumbs today. Put a big blob of butter on the bottom, and then just put it in your casserole dish. It really will help with the taste to even be that much better. And these are those real thick biscuits. You can use just regular biscuits or make homemade biscuits or just whatever you want to do. Okay, once you get your biscuits buttered and you have your layer, then you're going to want to put your layer of mashed potatoes. And these are real mashed potatoes. I was out of instant, or I would have made those. But there's nothing quite as good as real mashed potatoes, I think. So just put a kind of a, not real thin, but just a kind of thin layer and get them all covered. Then you want to put a layer. I'm going to use corn. You could use green beans, mixed vegetables, carrots, whatever you want, and just sprinkle that. And if I didn't say, I know I meant to, I just make my mashed potatoes probably about like everybody else makes them, with just boil them, and when they're tender, mash them up, salt, pepper, and butter. Okay, you have that. Then here is my meat, and this is where I have a fail, because I let my meat cook too long. Kaylin thinks it's great. I'm fine with it, but I'm sure Randy won't be able to eat it. But it is a little overcooked. But I'm going to use it anyway. I picked off the worst of it. And you would want to cut whatever kind of meat you use into little pieces. I feel like it's just easier to serve this. And I love the taste of barbecue sauce with mashed potatoes. So you do not have to use the barbecue sauce if you don't want to. It's just always up to you what you do. For you and your family, you know what works best for everybody. So there is the meat. Then we're going to put more mashed potatoes. And you have your bread in here, your meat, 2 vegetables, and it's really just a 1 casserole dish meal. Okay. So now I could put the rest of this on there, but I need a little bit of room for the cheese. So I have cheddar and Monterey Jack, and so that's what I'm going to use on here. And I'm not going to put a whole lot, because I don't think this needs to just be drowning in cheese, because there's so many other good flavors with it. But I'll put enough cheese that you know that cheese is on here. So here it is, ready to pop in the oven, and it's going to cook on 350. That's what the biscuits say to cook it on. And I forgot to look how long. 13 to 16 minutes. So I'll let them go about 15 minutes, and then everything should be ready, and we will see what it looks like. Okay, the everything in one dish casserole is ready. It smells really good. It looks really good. I'll take you down to see it. I'm going to bring it up a little bit, because sometimes I feel like you can't get a good look at it. Anyway, that is it. So I'm gonna get a piece of it, and it just came out of the oven. If it had sat for a little while, maybe 5 minutes or so, it would hold together better. But because I'm cutting it right out of the oven, it's gonna fall apart. And if you can see the liquid that's just right around the edges right there, that's butter from where we buttered the bottom of the biscuits. And the first piece is always the hardest to get up. Well, it came up pretty good. Okay. So now I'll show it to you. And like I said, you can use whatever kind of meat you want with it. Crumbled up hamburger, I think, would be good. But this is it. It's very oops. It's very simple to make and really good. So thank you so much for watching. I hope you have a wonderful day, and I will see you soon. Bye-bye.